Howdy y'all, Fuzzy Biker here. Day 2 of our Royal Enfield Classic 350 ride. So the bike itself, I've just been having a ball on it. I went through the specs on this thing yesterday. So if you want to see that, go to part 1. What I will say about it is, I really don't know how to say it. It's been a real zen experience is kind of the best thing I can say. There's a real, there's something special about this motorcycle. And I've been trying to quantify that. A whole bunch of my friends, older friends that have many bikes and ride a lot, have bought this motorcycle. And that's one of the things I wanted to know. Why is that? What's going on there? Because to me, this is a great entry-level bike. It's you know, it's a 350 with 20 horsepower, and it's very well mannered and it behaves very well, and it just seems to do everything right. So why would older guys want this hot rod? And what I'm learning is there's kind of a spirit to this thing, and it all starts with the styling. So the looks, right away, that grabs you. And one of the things about the looks is everything on this bike is made out of metal. You know, none of it is, very little of it is plastic. Even this cowling on the front, that's actually cast aluminum. This is the boat ramp down here. I bet this was a sopping mess this morning. It rained out here early this morning. And it's supposed to snow tonight, so go figure, right? Beautiful, beautiful Iowa. I love it. Well, anyway, there's kind of a zen to this. Okay, like right here, we're going super slow, and I can feel the thumping of that 350. You know, that it's just a real thumper. It's not a vibration. I mean, look at the mirrors. They're not vibrating that bad at all. But it's a definite feeling. You don't really feel it too large anywhere, but it's certainly there. You know you're on a thumper. And then the next thing I would say after that is, like I said, I did a bunch of highway miles on this 2-lane blacktop, and I know I'm stealing this. There's the old saying that if you ride a 350 Bullet, which this is based on, there's a rhythm to the single cylinder and to the heart of the body, and you know, they all kind of get in sync. And I think there's something kind of to that. You know, there's a certain amount of vibration there that's it's the right kind. It's very low frequency. It's very it's almost endearing. It's kind of like getting a massage in some ways, you know. And you know, I'll have to put more miles on that before I can quantify that any better. But it's really quite a bike in that sense. Also, you know, look at this dash area. There's a lot going on there, and that harkens all the way back. I think the first Bullet was 1932. And you know, a lot of that style is right there. It's got these tiger eyes. I don't know if you can see the light of my hands. It's got this, you know, very minimalist, you know, instrument cluster. These mall style grips. Hey, let's go up this way. There used to be cabins up this way. We have entered Springbrook State Park, by the way. This is a 930 acre park with a 17-acre lake. Isn't this just a pretty? Look at this, just gorgeous. But anyway, you know, it's got these very nice levers. It's, you know, this whole thing is done very well, and they could have did this for a lot less money, and they could have used plastic, and they could have simplified everything, but they didn't do that. And that really says a lot about the company and the bike. And as far as that goes, I'm going to just throw this in right here. It's got a 3-year warranty. Is that zen? I don't know, but 3-year unlimited mile warranty. That really gets me right there too. But no, there's a lot to, you know, riding this bike is a real treat in that way. So I think there's, I don't want to use the word spiritual, but there's something to it. You know, it rhymes. It hits well with the body, you know, body and soul kind of thing. And so the guys that I know that have this bike, you know, Jim, Gary, John, Mark, they have all kind of expressed that feeling to me, you know, that, you know, look at that, the world's smallest fire hydrant. Can you all see that? And now that I'm riding it, I can kind of see what they're talking about. You know, it's a real pleasure to ride. The other thing about, well, let's talk about riding this bike. So, you know, here we are babying it around the park, loads of torque. I'm not having to worry about killing it. It's not screaming. It's making a low-pitched noise. It's very comfortable in this environment. Yesterday evening, I got home and I was driving around the little A-town that I live in, and I was just amazed how well it pulled and how well it did around town and in traffic. And then I get it out on the open road, and you know, we've got some really strong winds here, but when the wind, you know, when I wasn't fighting the wind, we've got gusty 40-mile-an-hour winds yesterday too. But it just performed admirably. You know, it's very comfortable and easygoing, and it's, you know, I like to say this about my Himalayan, it's anything but fast. Well, I think that's kind of true with this. You know, it's anything but fast, but it's very enjoyable. It's very relaxing, very calming, you know, very good for the soul, you know. You're not in a race on this bike. You're out to have a, you know, you're out to enjoy the ride. And on the road, by the way, let's get back to that real quick. When I was in neutral winds, had a side wind or the wind at my back, you know, I told him I wouldn't go over 60. Well, it'd get right up to 60 without any problem. And it did very well indeed. This is the area to the boat ramp. This is one of my favorite parks. I've been coming here since 76, I think, in 1976. Just a beautiful, beautiful place. Wait till you see this over the hill here. That on the other side of the lake, this is a 17-acre lake, I think I already mentioned that. CCC era shelter. Built in the 30s. I think this whole dam and everything was built at that time. But look at that, isn't that just gorgeous? It's a beautiful kayak lake. I think there's an eagle's nest at the far end. Just a really nifty thing. And on this side, of course, is the campground. I don't know how many spots there are here, but it's a fun place to camp. There's about 12 miles of foot trail in here, including a trail that goes around the lake. Very good walking. So I think it's a good performing bike. As far as interstate goes, I'm not going to try it. I think the bike is speed limited to 70, 71 miles an hour or something like that. And I think if you had the wind with you, you'd be okay, or if it wasn't against you, any strong wind anyway, you'd be okay. But I just would stay off of it. Handling wise, it's a very nimble handling bike. It seems to, you know, I mean, look at this. It just turns around in a dime. It's, you know, it's got that 19-inch front tire and 18-inch rear. It just does very well. I'm very impressed with it, just to be honest, just very impressed with it. So how does this compare to my Himalayan? Well, they're two totally different motorcycles, two totally different uses. Let's start with something that just jumps out at you right away obvious. As far as both of these are Royal Enfields. Mine is a couple years older than this. I would say the quality on this more modern motorcycle is far superior to my Himalayan. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with my Himalayan. I'm saying that this is just that much better. And I also see that in the modern Himalayans, the newer Himalayans. Every year Himalayan gets better. Same thing with Royal Enfield. And this one is, you know, this particular model, they've just gone, it's not just a difference, it's a substantial difference, you know, and I'm very impressed with that. And I mean, look at all the, you know, even things like this clutch lever and brake lever, those are bespoke to this bike. They got a very nice, good feel, you know, they got a very wide, well, anyway. Get yourself to a dealer and check one of these out. It's just a very, very good thing. As far as handling goes, I would say this is a great town bike, city bike, you know, leisurely two-lane blacktop road. You know, if you're not in a hurry to get anywhere, if you can, you know, manage going 60 miles an hour all day long and not have any trouble with that, it's perfect for that. It's supposed to get, I think it's rated at 79 or 89 miles a gallon, so you should be able to, you know, go pretty far in a tank, 3.5 gallon tank. But it is not going to be the off-road bike that the Himalayan is. The Himalayan's got a 21-inch front tire and way more suspension. This has got plenty of suspension, by the way. I think this bike, well, you know what, I'm going to get into that here in a little bit. So let's jump ahead now. The next thing the big reason I wanted to ride this bike is, you know, why are my friends so infatuated with it, so enamored with this bike? What is it about it that, this is the top of the park, by the way. This is the big open area. These look like mounds, and I have not been able to verify that those are Indian mounds, but I can't find anything on the state website that would mention that or claims that. When I was young, we used to, you know, they used to tell us that, and I can't see that now, but what I want to show you here is, here's a trail system here, 1.2 fire trail, and that hooks in with other trails, and there's also a bunch of land, open land over that way you can go on, and there used to be an eagle's nest back there too. I haven't seen it this year. I've actually seen pileated woodpeckers in this forest. Saw 2 in one day, amazingly. It's an absolute wonderland. Wonderland. You know, I don't know if these harken all the way back to the CCC era or not, but a lot of neat stuff like that here. And there's more trails. Let's see, there's another trailhead. There are a couple more trailheads actually up here. Here's one right here. And that heads down to the lake. The lake's down there. And anyway, so why would somebody my age buy a bike like this? And that's something, you know, you like the way it looks. Yeah, I do like the way it looks. By the way, when I was getting gas, you know, I had a lady come up and comment on it. When I'm driving around town, there are people that are looking at the bike, you know, they're looking at the bike itself. It's a good looking motorcycle, very classic looking. If you were to line this up against a bunch of 1950 era Bullets or Classics, you would, you know, the disc brake would give it away, but it would look very, it would look at home, you know, would not look out of place. But so why would somebody my age buy it? I'm starting to see why. It's a good place to escape. You don't have to, you're not pushing or racing or trying to go fast. You're just enjoying the ride. You're riding outside of the motorcycle. That's something I keep talking about. I need to do a video about that. That's where you're riding the motorcycle, but you're enjoying everything around you. And the motorcycle like this, it does everything. It's so stable and so easygoing that it does everything kind of, I don't want to say it does it for you, but it does it very well, so you don't have to pay a super amount of attention to it. Always pay attention, but it's so when you ride a bike like this, you really get to enjoy what's out there, you know, like this scenery right here. Isn't it just gorgeous? These are old outhouses. They don't use them anymore. This is an old CNC shelter, or CCC, or a shelter, and big old fireplace in there. What a great day for riding. Isn't it just beautiful up here? This is one of the, another one of Iowa's hidden gems, and another one of Guthrie County's hidden gems. Guthrie County is one of the most underrated counties in the state. It's just an absolute beautiful county. I ride motorcycle all around this area, and I will tell you that Guthrie County is the prettiest of the counties around here. So why do older guys buy this? I think they buy it because, like I said, they want to escape the rat race. They want to just enjoy the ride. Other reasons would be, you know, you've got a $20,000 Tiger or some other brand, you know, and it's a neat bike, but every time you take it out, you're worried about it, and you don't want to put miles on it all the time, but you want to go ride, and, you know, you're worried about taking it on the back roads or the dirt, or, you know, things like that. And so you get yourself one of these, and it works really well. There's part of the trail system down there. That's the lake. Can you all see that? Beautiful, beautiful. Check this out. That is the big shelter house down there. We'll go down. We'll try to get as close to that as we can here in a minute. See, look at this. Isn't this pretty? That's the boat ramp way over there that we were there earlier. There's part of the trail you can see around the lake. Boy, the wind's really blowing. When I was a kid, there was a big 3-story platform here, and we'd dive off the top, you know. I think it finally rotted away. For the price of a $20,000 or $25,000 large ADV, you could get a Himalayan and this bike and still have, you know, $14,000, $13,000 left over. It's to spare, you know, and there's a lot of value in these. And as far as the quality of these goes, I've talked about that. It's really quite good. If you haven't seen one, you need to go see one. And it's backed up with a 3-year warranty. And the other thing about the bikes like this is they are cheap to maintain. You know, 2 valves, 1 cylinder, 2 valves, easy. Everything's easy to get to. No fairings to tear off. I guess what I'm saying is, you know, if you bought a Himalayan and an Interceptor, or a Himalayan and a Classic 350, you would have a bike you can take dirt biking with the Himalayan, and out in the country and out in the ruggeds and all that neat stuff. And then if you wanted to go bumming around town and getting coffee and you know, the market, whatever, you could take something like this and just have a good old time. And for literally half the cost of the big bike, with half the worries and all the fun, probably more fun. Okay, so it's zen, it rides well, it's got decent quality compared to Himalayan. It's even better quality. Why do old guys buy it? What would I do if I bought one of the, let's talk about this exact motorcycle, a Classic 350. Would I buy one? The more I ride this, the more I want one. I'll be honest with you. The more I ride this, it's really, I don't want to use the word growing on me. It's more, I'm falling into its orbit. It's an incredibly fun thing to ride. So yeah, I do like this. I would like to have one, actually. It's a good bike. What would I do with it? Well, I would probably put these crash bars on, like you see there. That's a good thing. I think they look good. Sorry, I'd get a backrest for the rear end, because I got people that like to go riding with me, but they don't like to go riding on bikes without backrest, and they don't like to go on the dirt bike, by the way. They'll probably ride on this, but they won't go on a dirt bike, I guarantee that. What else would I do? I'd put a bag probably just on one side. This has got bags on both sides. They make a hard bag for this that is, boy, look at that, look at that. Wow, the wind is just a howling. Anyway, I think that would be good enough for day tripping, you know. They make it's a hard case, it looks like an ammo case. I think that would kind of go, oh, that's the next thing I was going to bring up. The reason I would want the hard case that looks like an ammo case is, I think I would want the military style, particularly the tan one. And I love this. The Halcyon bikes, the chrome-sided tanks, those are very reminiscent of a lot of Royal Enfields that I've seen from the 50s and 60s. It absolutely steals the styling clothes, you know, from that. And very good-looking motorcycles. It's just that I'm thinking if I went with a classic like this, I would want to go all in as far as nostalgia goes, you know. It would be be a lot of fun. Have a military style bike. So yeah, desert tan. I'd get a desert tan. I'd get the crash bars on the front. I'd get the single back on the side. I'd get an Indiana Jones whip. Somebody out there mentioned that in one of the comments, that, you know, it looks like a good bike for an Indiana Jones whip. Just, you know, roll it up and put it on the side. Wouldn't that look cool? What a prop, huh? What a hipster bike, right? Hey, I'm an old guy, what can I say? Other things I do, like I said, the sissy bar or the backrest. I'd get the backrest. And I don't know that there'd be much else to do. How about a windscreen? Well, I don't think I'd want a windscreen on this because I enjoy the look of this so much. I think if you plan to use it as a daily bike, you know, you might get caught in the rain with it or something like that. Yeah, you might want a windscreen just to keep the water off your body at least. This is day 2 of the 300-mile ride. We're at 176.5 miles. I'm about 35 miles away from home, and I think I am going to head that way. The wind's really picking up. I am wearing my excellent Cardon Law jacket with just a t-shirt underneath it today. Yesterday I had long underneath it, long underwear underneath the top, and I was actually hot. Today I've just got a t-shirt on. I've got the vents and the chest open, but this is just a fabulous coat. I just love it. Hey, can you guys see this? There's a turkey on the side of the road over here. There he goes. There he goes. Look at him. Wow, nobody behind us. Yeah, turkeys do fly. Adios, amigo. Okay, my friends, life is good. Get out there and enjoy it. Get out there and ride. Wahoo!